And good afternoon and welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio on this Monday, June 5th already, June 5th, 2017. I'm Ian Rollins, along with my colleague Earl Basden. I didn't say Mr. but I said Earl Basden. Good afternoon, Earl Basden.
Good afternoon, Ian Rollins. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you, sir. All is well?
Everything is wonderful.
Good, good. Well, let's start off with the America's Cup 2017. As you know, you and I were working yesterday in the village of the America's Cup, that being day 9. Obviously, wind conditions played a major factor because there was no sailing. I think you told me early in the day that the chances of sailing were very slim, so you predicted that well. As we all know, Mother Nature controls it, and we have no say in that but Mother Nature.
Well, indeed. Unfortunately for the crowd that braved the heat yesterday, hoping that they would have seen some action, unfortunately did not. But for the sailors, it's another race day today, which gets underway in about 29 minutes. The semifinals of the preliminaries. Obviously, we'll see New Zealand taking on Land Rover BAR and Sweden taking on Japan.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Just recapping what we discussed yesterday, that the reason why New Zealand chose Land Rover BAR, because as we all know in the history, Land Rover BAR doesn't excel or do well in light conditions. That was one of the reasons they chose Land Rover BAR as a competitor.
Right.
But as we discussed, Land Rover was coming along in the last history. Yeah, so start Land Rover BAR doesn't excel or do well in up some momentum. And physically and mentally, that plays a major role when they're going forward positively.
Yeah, it does, and picking them, obviously, because things are not always going their way, they're looking at the possibility of getting him there while he's down, and that is, I guess, the game plan for Emirates Team New Zealand, to try and take advantage of Sir Ben and his team's not regular transitions on the foils and so forth. So it'll be interesting to see who gets out to the early lead in this. Obviously, no one wants to play catch-up, so it's all to play for, and they're first up at 2:08. So we'll keep an eye on that as we're here doing what we're doing to bring information to the general public, and we'll be updating as the racing goes on.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Wind conditions, have they been favorable today to say that we're going to have another race?
We will have racing today. I've been checking with the updates that they've been giving, and they will be, if not already out there, they should be already out there. Racing will commence at 2 o'clock, with the fresh race officially getting underway at 2:08. So, looking forward to the semifinals, heading up to the finals of the preliminaries, and then see who will take on Orca Team USA in the 35th America's Cup final.
Wow. Oh, put you on the spot. Team Orca is looking very good. They've been in 2 defeats. What do you think their chances of defending this significant cup?
50-50, because they'll start with a lead because of the fact that they won a bonus point, but head to head, and you're continuously facing the same competitor.
Something has to give, you're saying?
Something will give. One of the 2 teams, whoever they face, one of those 2 teams will crumble at one point in time. So if it's race 3 and 4 and you're leading 3-love, hey, it could be 3-2 in a matter of a day. So anything could possibly happen.
As we all know, in 2013, what happened, right, to New Zealand?
Yeah, I mean, 8-1, the celebration that started in New Zealand. They had the fireworks ready, and I'm told they're still on the same barge, waiting.
4 years later.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to do it again.
Nothing
happened in 2017.
Is that the hope? Because we're hoping that Orca Team USA win it and possibly stay in Bermuda.
That is correct.
Okay. All right. Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's a lot of people talking that There's a possibility that they'll say, we've been told, no, I guess not told, but we have been informed that if they win, they'll stay. Um, my suggestion would be then draft up the contract, make them sign it now. Don't wait until the end.
Well, you have to, of course, because if you
No, no,
in the winner.
because the contract will be in the event that you win. Don't put it down when you win. In the event that you win, you will stay in Bermuda. That can be signed at any time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Then,
Why leave people hanging? For disappointment?
yes.
Or excitement? Because the excitement would be right there and then in the party if they win it.
Say again?
The excitement, if they won,
Right.
and the guarantee was signed,
Right.
the excitement is right there.
Oh, yeah,
It's built
yeah,
right
yeah,
there
yes, yeah.
with the Bermuda public there.
Yeah, correct.
Right,
Correct.
right.
But there's still some excitement because we're guessing and hoping and then praying that it will happen.
How many times have we been promised and it's not come true? That for me is we have to now reassure people that when things are said, we follow through with it.
True.
And that's why I say, why not draft a contract that states, in the event that you win, because that's what you said, you'll keep it in Bermuda. Nothing wrong with that, unless that's not your intent.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's not going to be
Right. So if it's your intent to keep it in Bermuda, why not sign a contract that states you will do that?
True.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. It's like,
Yeah.
just think about this. Makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But nevertheless, it's been said now, and obviously rules are already in place for 2017.
Yes.
Team Oracle has, I think, 10 days off now.
Yeah.
They won not yesterday. Excuse me,
Saturday.
Saturday, but
Mhm.
gained that momentum point, and now they will be off for I think 10 days. And now it comes to that mental aspect of how do you create yourself while other teams are still vying for it in position, still fighting, still competing. We are like, how are you going to that's what I'm looking for. I'm blanking out.
Keep that momentum.
Yeah, how are you going to keep the momentum?
Well, it's going to be difficult. As we talked yesterday, here lies the problem. The other teams are physically and mentally racing. You're
Right.
now going into a training mode,
Correct. Big difference.
and they're going to come in on a high. Might be tired, might be a little damaged, but that momentum of competing takes them through. Now, if Oracle Team USA was off for 3 days, that could work. 7 extra days, you fall into that sense of, wow, what am I going to do? And you're actually, they're taking the time out to watch the racing because you want to try and pick up small tips on what the others are doing. So you're not in the gym, you're not out on the water, you're
Right.
actually sitting there monitoring, and then what happens is you meet later and you're discussing. Okay, they don't make a left tack as good as they make a right tack. They're not up on the foils as quickly as they are going right or left, or they're not meeting that maximum speed that they want on the reach, and those type of talks. So you're spending more time evaluating but not competing,
And that could be a hindrance.
and that can actually work against you.
Right.
And remember, they set the rules.
They do.
They set the rules for this style of competition.
And that's from the winning team, that is. From
Yeah,
the winning
yeah,
team.
yeah.
Last night when I was home, I had some people at the house, and we were talking about the America's Cup, and it was interesting. Everyone thought that the America's Cup was played, or not played, but competing every 4 years like the Olympics and World Cup football.
Mhm.
That is not the case.
Change.
It's been times when 2 years, it's been
Mhm.
3 years, it's been 4 years, it's even been 5 years.
Mhm.
And so it's changed again for 2019. There's no secret now that it's going to be played out on 2019 as opposed to
Yeah,
being
everybody
2021.
signed a contract that says they've changed the rules to host the America's Cup every 2 years now. I
Right.
guess that's the consistency that they need in order to keep
Well, help the
sponsors.
sport, and
Yeah,
keep the sport
yeah,
going. You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
So,
My only hope is that, and it's going to be difficult, obviously, the cost of these boats, to get more countries and more teams involved, the cost is going to have to be worked out, because how many countries can afford a boat of that cost and then also pay the people to operate it to fine tune it to, I mean, you need an army of people. And that's a monumental task. And you're going to need people, wealthy people, in order to do that. One of the concerns I have is that we have a group of youngsters who will take part in the Red Bull America's Cup. But in the event that we don't host it again, it will just be our one and only shot at it, because who can afford, or will the government support having us go every 2 years as a Youth Red Bull Cup?
Well, that's a good point. I think that if we are hosting the event and we are able to come on board for 2019, I'm sure things are going to be in place starting now to say we don't need sponsorship.
Right.
I wouldn't be surprised if international sponsors come on to our Red Bull to help our youth program, because that's where it starts. That's where we need to grow.
Right.
So if we are able to bring in more sponsorship, not just depending on the government or whoever the government will be by 2019, that we bring in more sponsors. I think this is an opportunity with this event here to bring back international business, right? To bring that back to Bermuda, and so this will help us.
Right.
In addition to what you're saying with the youth program, will we have a team?
Yeah.
You know, most likely not. But if we're going to host it in, say, 2019, and Danny says, well, you know, I want to have it 2021 in Bermuda, will we have a team by then? That's a possibility.
Right.
Right? It's an expensive event, right? I think that, and I could be wrong, but I've been hearing talks that Team Japan only, I'm saying only to you, right? It's like 50 to 60 million, right? That's only.
Yeah.
So you're looking at Team Oracle, New Zealand, right? The top guns, right? Artemis. If they're only spending, going back to Japan, only spending 50 to 60 million, imagine what these three guys are spending. Usually, probably double, 120.
Yeah.
Right?
Easy.
Right? And so that 110, 120 is going to cover 2 to 3 years, though, of that service. Because remember, they're training, getting to buy boats, living conditions, you know, housing, accommodations, obviously a stipend here, you know, and it could be a small stipend. On top of that. So,
well, we already know what each crew member is getting for Oracle Team USA per month.
What is that?
$25,000
per month.
Per month.
Not bad, man.
You want to go pull some ropes?
I do. I need to go pull some ropes. Look. Let me go pull some ropes for 2 years, $25,000 a month. I'll get in great shape. Trust me. I'll train in advance. Right? And I'll do it.
And it only came out because there was a court case after the 2013 event where, when it was revealed that the cup was moving to Bermuda, one of the sailors wanted 32.
So you're telling me they're making $300,000 a year?
Yeah.
Full rope?
Yeah.
And swim in the water?
Yeah.
I could do that. I really can, okay?
Yep.
Let me go get myself in shape.
One sailor wanted 32 per month to move to Bermuda. Because,
32 per month?
Yeah, because he felt Bermuda was expensive. And I think because he had, 4 or 5 kids and so forth, he was looking for that amount of money.
So $25,000 is $300,000 a year. He wanted $32,000. That's an additional $84,000. So that's $384,000.
Yeah. Now, if that's what the sailors are getting, imagine what the people, the trainers, who are keeping these guys in shape. Imagine what the technical guys are doing in the back, studying the videos and making sure that the boat can go faster. Imagine what they're getting. Because I'm pretty sure if it's not the same, it's just a little bit more or just a touch less. Imagine now you have a crane operator. You have all these people that are pulling to make sure this works. So your operating budget per month probably turns out to be that $500,000, if not more.
That's not bad, mate.
Yeah. But then you start saying, okay, over a 2-year period, who's footing that bill?
Responsible.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's not bad, huh?
No, it's not. It's not. But then we'll turn it back to Bermuda. We'll have to get a boat, which we have. We'll have to pay people to continue to train, because this is not a part-time event for the people taking part in. if we model ourselves around the other youth groups, then they do that full time. They have a circuit. Now we have yet to be on the circuit. Our six of our Red Bull team members, or eight of our Red Bull team members, went to Italy for a regatta just a few months ago, or a month ago. We couldn't afford to take the whole team, so we're having problems in that regard, and we're hosting the event. Imagine if we don't host it and we want to continue. We're asking for a lot of backing for an event that happens once every 2 years.
And it's going to take time because the sport's still growing in Bermuda. Right?
Well,
in this capacity.
right.
And as we all know, it's a professional sport,
Mm-hmm.
right? And this is the first time it's Great Star Shores, right?
Right.
And so it's new, and as you know, Bermudians take time to see the fruits of the labor.
Yes.
Right. We look at it like we want it now, but it takes time to
Right.
see it long term. So it's going to take some time to really get to that level.
I honestly believe that if this event stays in Bermuda, we're gonna have to see a better collaboration of the local sailing community rallying around to ensure that more people are aware of what sailing goes on in Bermuda. I say that because sailing has been going on for years and years and years in this country, but it's one of those sports that what I consider hide in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a drive Somerset and you'll see Optimist sailors in the middle of the Great Sound, but they're small boats that you could just about see when it's out in the Great Sound because it's so huge. If they wanted more involvement, if they wanted more participation from people within the community, you're going to have to sail where people can see, where people could stop and say, hey, Johnny, Marco, David, do you want to, is that something you want to join in? But you can't do that if they're out in the middle of the Great Sound and you could just see a speck. And because what they're calling the Endeavor program now used to be the Waterwise program within the schools that started most of this, that you've seen a lot of these kids come through, and as well as what Royal Bermuda Yacht Club and what Royal Hamilton Amateur Dinghy Club have been able to do. You have there's a group of gentlemen up at West End Sailboat Club who started a group of youngsters in the Optimists and so forth. So, but that's grassroots. But people need to see more of that, where they can actually stand and watch it.
True.
For more involvement. And then there's other boats that these kids graduate to, but you're only getting a certain sector of the community getting involved because of that one thing, hiding in plain sight.
Good point.
Yeah.
But also, sailing started, I think it was at White Island in 1972.
Mm-hmm.
It was introduced to Bermuda under then the director was Brenton Roberts.
Mm-hmm.
And Tom, I can't remember Tom's last name. That's where the sailing and
Tom Evans.
I can't remember. But it was Tom and Brenton. They introduced the sailing and swimming.
Mm-hmm.
And Bermuda. It was at White Island. I remember going there as a kid for sailing and swimming, and it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was best, you know?
Well, that's the part where we're not keeping that message going. We're talking about the Endeavor program, which is a great program, but if kids, just like our history, if we don't know where we came from, we don't know how it started, then we're going to have that gap of how did we get to this point? And if you ask some of the kids that are in the Endeavor program, how did we get to this point? They really can't tell you because it's not told. What we're doing is we're celebrating the finish line, forgetting that there was different stages in the race to get to that finish line. You know, so I think we need to make sure that we understand the struggles that started, the middle part, and the ending part. Yeah. So
let's take a commercial break. And of course, today's topic, the lines are open for any topic actually. When we come back, we'll talk about Mr. Mickey Wells on Inside Sports Talk Radio. We'll be back after this.
Inside Sports Talk Radio has been presented to you by Colonial International, Atlantic Wood.
I heard Oracle was $1 trillion company. Trillion.
yeah,
$1 trillion.
Mhm.
Oracle.
Yeah. What's the guy named? Larry Ellis?
Larry Ellis.
Yeah.
Don't he own the Golden, owns the
Stadium.
The stadium.
Yeah.
Trading? That's more money than a lot of these third world countries.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just knocked it down there.
What time is it? It's game time. More opportunities to win. All your sports betting needs without the roadkill. Introducing Game Time East and Game Time West. Located next to Wahoo St. George's and Main Road Somerset by Somerset Cricket Club. All Game Time outlets open Monday to Friday 12 to 6, Saturdays 8:30 to 5, and Sundays 10 to 5. For more details, visit GameTime.pm or call 296 Game Time. You play, you pay. Game Time is a socially responsible gaming establishment. You don't have to be accident prone to have an accident.
Hey, Vicky, I'm on the air right now.
That's why
I-
the loan is low deductible.
No, yeah, on Power 95, but I'm on Power 95. I mean, on Ocean 89. But I can't. I'm on Powers though. Powers right now. Yeah, that's TV 2 o'clock. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're carrying at 2 o'clock. I'll talk. No worries. I'll tell the viewers, listeners. So, thanks. All right.
Back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio. With Power 95 FM. With host Ian Blow and co-host Earl Vincent.
Just want to let our listeners know that though there was no racing yesterday, yes, Bermuda Broadcast Company will carry coverage of the of the 35th America's Cup 2017 today, beginning at 2 o'clock on ZBM TV9 and of course on Ocean 89. We're definitely carrying coverage today, starting at 2 o'clock. People just call me myself and asking are we carrying coverage of the America's Cup. So yes, we will carry today at 2 o'clock on ZBM TV9 and again on Ocean 89, and of course repeating that broadcast today. 8 p.m. tonight, rebroadcast on television, again on ZBM TV 9. As we went to commercial break, we said we'll come back and talk about Nicky Wells, the success that he's had this year in 2016-17 campaign, Champions League, moving up now to the Premier Division. So ironic that the season finishes with now all future mate to get married. So things are just working out well for the young man.
Oh, they say if you plan properly, you will succeed.
He's going to do well. Yeah. What do you think is going to be like for Huddersfield? They're going to have to obviously spend some money, but not just spend the money outright, but to attract certain players that will help them stay up. There have been people now saying Huddersfield will do well, but they can't see them staying up. What do you think?
Well, there was an article today posted in the Examiner, Huddersfield Examiner, where a former coach kind of gave him a breakdown and review on how he feels they will work out next season. And every angle he looked at, he came back with they will be relegated.
That's a former coach.
Former coach.
That's crazy.
They're already late in what they'll do as far as transfer. They'll have to keep a nucleus of what they have. Experience-wise, they're going to be lacking. But I mean, hey, no one anticipated Huddersfield were at the beginning of the season. They were expected to be in a battle for relegation. All the pundits, all the breakdowns, beginning of the season, Sky Bet and all that, and had them fighting for a relegation spot
In the Champions League.
in the Champions Division. And
Wow.
of course, they proved all those doubters wrong. They got the final spot to go up, and he was kind of breaking down the three teams that have gone up. He was saying that Newcastle, because of their experience, will be able to attract players. But Huddersfield, due to their lack of experience of knowing how to operate as a Premier Division team, that's where they're going to find the struggle, both on and off the field. But hey, everybody starts at zero when the season starts. You know?
That's true.
Yeah, so get an early win. Hey, that's 3 more points than a lot of other teams.
So, a couple of my friends teased me, saying that one thing we can assure you, that Liverpool will fare against Huddersfield. That was proven in your just concluded campaign season.
And your
So
reply?
anyway, well, I'm about to do your reply. I said, I know where you're going. And so the pundit said, well, where you going? I said, the teams that were weak, Liverpool lost.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, yeah. I said, well, things may turn around. We may do the opposite from this year, right? The 2017-18 season. But no, it just depends what we do. And you know, Klopp's going up against his best, his ace boy, actually, his best man in Reading.
Right.
And you know, there was one time Klopp interested, or there was talk, I can't say Klopp was interested, there was talk that Nicky Wells may make a move up to London, to Enfield.
Right.
So, talk's cheap. Right?
Well, I tell you what, he has the opportunity to put himself in a position that if Huddersfield are not successful, then he can be successful. When I say he can be successful, he can be a marketing tool for himself. Because remember, he's on show every week. Every time he goes on the pitch, he'll be on show. And if he can impress one coach in the Premier Division, because remember, it's contract time next season. There's a possibility he can remain in the Premiership. He puts those chances away or creates several chances, and he impresses, just like I said, one Premier Division coach outside of his coach. Anything's possible. Yeah.
Well, definitely wish him all the best, success.
Yeah.
And he's the latest meeting to join the Premier League. Of course, the last one was none other than who? Tell me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking.
Yeah, who? Mr. Gota.
Mr. Gota. Mr. Manchester City himself.
Yeah.
And we all remember the day he sunk his former team, the team that took him from Bermuda, and he ran up against him when he was donning the blue of Manchester City, and scored twice on a memorable Saturday morning. One of the, you know, what's interesting, that was one of the first times I think a lot of people sat down and watched live football. And really appreciated it from a standpoint that we got to see a Bermudian on show in front of thousands of people in a not a Somerset Eagles, St. George's, St. David's rivalry match of Manchester, and that's a huge thing for that city itself. When those teams play, similar to Liverpool and Everton, similar to Arsenal, Tottenham, Glasgow Rangers, Glasgow Celtics, those are weeks of a lot of talk leading up to, and then there's some silence from one side and a lot of bragging from the other once it's all said and done. So I want to wish Nicky all the best this coming season, but obviously there's going to be a lot of hard work for Huddersfield and their fans, because they're going to have to become the 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th man whenever they play at home, and then the traveling group is going to have to be just as vocal in support, because these guys are going to have to play out of their skins, especially the first couple of games, because that pace is going to be exceptionally well. If anybody watched the FA Cup final the day before the playoff championship final, the quickness of play in the FA Cup final to the pace of the championship final was a bit different. So they would know they're going to have to pick up that intensity, and it's going to be a week in and week out basis, because remember, everybody in the Premiership is either playing for a title or you're playing for your life to stay out. So yeah.
Women's netball team.
Yeah.
They did quite well, I think.
Finished 1-1-1.
1-1-1.
They lost the first. They lost the first game, won the second, and then the last game ended in a tie.
Has there ever been a tie in netball? Was that thought?
In a series, yeah, they would have a tie, and then how they determine a winner was through goal difference, and USA won on goal difference. But picking up their first international win in such a long time, I know those young ladies will be very pleased with the performance. Not losing a series, not losing on the field in the series, they will be even more excited. And now it turns the others now look to say what we have to do to emulate and try to get better. So it's going to be very interesting to see where we go from here.
Right.
I know they're going to be looking and hoping that they have done enough to get the points they need. So over the next day or two, once those scores have been sent into the Netball Federation globally, they should be on the ranking, and then we'll see where we lie, and then try to get some more international matches. So good luck, congratulations to them, and let's see where we get ranked in the next coming week or two.
Okay. Well, let's take a commercial break. We're back. This.
Sports Talk Radio has
Got some guests for next week. We've got a lot of some guests for next week. Everything's been America's Cup, right?
Yeah, I was gonna
Maybe it's the quarter.
I was gonna get July.
Right, but don't worry about it. It's still for next week.
But there isn't any 10 chance of making it a car insurance claim.
That's like Colonial's low deductibles make sense.
Just $200 for no additional fee.
It means you can pay less for your car insurance with Colonial.
And it costs less to claim.
That's cool without added cost.
Call Colonial on 296-3700 or visit CGIGroup.com.
And start saving now.
You can mention the number if you want again.
Sure.
Yeah.
Within our blood, summer 2017 promises to be one of the most exciting and eventful summers in recent memory. There's plenty to see, do, and get involved in this year, and there's a willingness to reach out and participate that does us proud. Of course, summer really means barbecues, picnics, wedding feasts, and epic family meals, and we've been helping you make the right choices for your table for generations and loving every minute of it. It's in our blood. Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Calling all players. What time is it? It's game time. Fun and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, horses, English Premier League, and more. Weekly promotions, instant win games, be a lucky loser with our weekly draw. Become a game time player. Call into one of our 3 locations in Somerset, Town, or St. George's. For more details, visit gametime.pm or call 296-3622. Game time. You play, you pay. Game time is a socially responsible gaming service.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio with Power 95 FM with host Ian Rose and co-host Earl Beasley.
And welcome back. Our lines are open today for any topic of sports that we can discuss with our listening audience. That number is 292-9595. Again, 292-9595. Give us a call any topic of sports you'd like to discuss. As you know, our time and effort's been spent in the America's Cup Village over the last 2 weeks. So we've just been putting our emphasis there and obviously working on other scenarios as well. But next week we will have guests in the studio joining us. So we want to let you know the lines open today just for everything that you want to discuss. Again, that number is 292-9595. So that's what's on Inside Sports Talk Radio today.
Well, Ian, I wanna, I guess, publicly say congratulations to young Marcus Scotland. Yesterday, scoring 174 not out, playing for Surrey's under 14 county age group team. They earlier last week they defeated Sussex, and yesterday they defeated Cambridgeshire by over 130 runs or 118 runs in that regard. He scored 174 not out, batted from beginning to end, 50 overs, 14-year-old Marcus Scotland. His last few innings, he got run out on 36 in that game against Sussex. He scored an even century the match before that, and he was out just before 100 the match before that. So he's been finding the middle of the bat over the last few weeks, and we just want to wish him all the best to continue that form, and hopefully he can go from strength to strength. He is obviously enjoying the time that he's spending at the wicket, and he's valuing his wicket, and he's forcing other 14-year-olds to say, we have to figure out how to get this young man out. So
14 and making 100 and what?
174 not out.
It's pretty remarkable, right?
Oh yeah.
International surface.
Oh yeah, they play. Well, he's in England, so
Right.
they're playing on decent pitches. They're playing 50 overs, and that's another thing that was talking with a few people. What they're doing with their youth, they're emulating what their senior program goes through. So there's a time where you could say this is the development league, but at 14, it's time to put them into a structured environment, and they need to be playing what they'll play in, because in 2 years' time, at 16, you can play in the senior division.
So okay, so that's women now.
Right. Well, in Bermuda, we're not, because we're only playing 35 overs.
Right.
We keep saying, or we keep putting time restraints on what we're able to do. Where if we look at Marcus, is the same age as the boys that play on Saturday.
Right.
But he's playing 50 overs, where our boys are playing 35. So when we go into international competition against our other peers, they're playing much more cricket than we are. And then we have a problem. We see that with the national team. If you're a bowler per week, because we're playing 50 overs, you're only bowling 10 overs a week. If you go to training, you're bowling, 5 overs a night in training? So if you go twice, for that entire week, you're bowling 20 overs. If you go to international competition, 2 days right off the bat, your whole week of cricket is done. You get a rest day, you come back to it. So you're asking your body to do things that you're really not training yourself to do.
True.
So here, what they do this is what they do in England. Even in, they play 60 overs at some matches, where 2 bowlers are allowed to bowl more than 10 overs.
2 bowlers?
2 bowlers. You pick 2 bowlers, so they're allowed to bowl more than 10 overs. So they can both bowl 15 overs, right? So now that requires stamina.
Yeah.
So generally, what the players now going to do is say, I don't know if it's going to be my turn this time, so I need to make sure I come prepared, get myself into some shape. So when you get to international competition, this guy's going to bowl 10, but still got 5. His body still got 5 left in him, because he's used to doing it. But I mean, I don't sit on boards, and but I observe a lot, and I think this is where we fail our athletes, because administratively we don't look to see what others are doing around us and how they're benefiting from it.
Right.
We're just doing what we're used to doing.
And it's going through the motions.
Yeah, again, here we go again. The same rules, the same amount of overs, everything's the same.
Yeah.
Everything's the same.
And that's not good.
No. So, I mean, but then you want different results. It's very difficult to get different results if you're doing the same thing. You know, so
Your body gets used to it.
Yeah.
Muscles get used to it.
body, mind, and soul, same thing. You know, we had Tyler Butterfield win a half Ironman yesterday. We had Tyler Smith yesterday finish 3rd in the UK Elite Junior Triathlon. You already mentioned the netball. Unfortunately, our rugby team went down on Saturday night at the National Sports Center against Cayman Islands, 28-15. But one thing I could say, that the second half proved to be a lot better than the first half for the local team. They found themselves down 17-0.
Wow.
They gave themselves a hard thing to come back from, just by the performance in the first half. But they never gave up. They came out and scored a try early in the second half. Bermuda then got back-to-back tries and then scored again. Reeled it in a little bit, but came in on the night, didn't let any chance go away. I mean, we were stronger in the rock. So what they were doing when they got the penalty close enough, their kicker was kicking the ball, man. So just so they didn't have to go over the strength of Bermuda. But Bermuda has one more game left in the North Zone Region Championships. It's against USA South. It's a tall order to stay in the division, but anything can happen because the game starts at 0-0, just like the America's Cup. We're in the semifinals, and they start at 0-0. Just to give an update, Peter Berlin in the pre-start, they're ahead of Land Rover BAR. Emirates Team New Zealand, race 1 ahead of Land Rover BAR for the start of the first semifinal. So these two will go again, I believe, at 3:05. So we'll keep you updated as the race goes on throughout the afternoon on how the semifinals are shaping up. So all to play for, or all to sail for. The first semifinal is underway with Emirates Team New Zealand off to a narrow lead over Land Rover BAR. So
And what's after that? What are the races coming after that?
it'll be Japan and Sweden. They're at I believe they're at 2:35, and then at 3:05 these two go back at it again, and then at 3:35 Japan and Sweden will go again. So it's four races each day to decide who will be in the preliminary final to see who will go up against Orca Team USA. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think, well, the village is closed today, but it
Yeah.
also means that the weather has stood the storm.
Yeah, I mean, it stood the calm.
Stood the calm, sorry, thank you. Stood the calm.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, when they said they wanted the America's Cup to come to Bermuda, they wanted lovely, beautiful sunshine, and that's what they got. Yesterday was a day that I don't think there was anyone that took the time to go to Horseshoe Beach, or matter of fact, any beach, would have complained about it. It would have only been the people up at Cross Island, because they wanted to see sailing.
Right.
So, I mean,
But they were happy overall.
oh yeah, I'm pretty sure a day to see some people you won't normally see. One thing I do notice a lot is that I see a lot of the countries that are being represented, I see their flags. And it's good to see that the people who reside in Bermuda are out supporting the countries in which they come from. So, you know, we need more of that.
As you know, along Middle Devonshire, of course, at the end, we got the flags.
Yes,
So that's kind of interesting. When you're driving east or west,
right,
you get to see the flags on our property.
right.
That's kind of interesting. People
Mhm.
stuff. Those who would compete with the past that the flags.
Right,
So
right.
it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. What's happening with you? You did a story the other day on the Public Association.
Well, information was that the vice commodore, had resigned. We've been attempting to get a comment from the president. We haven't been successful as of yet. So that's the latest with them. Their season has started. Unfortunately, their first race day was postponed. They have another one coming up, I think, in 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
So it is what it is. Trying to find out why he would resign. We had him in studio when they first got elected. It looked like the team was about to take things to another level, but unfortunately, we're at this place. And you know what the biggest problem is, Ian? In this regard, the sport itself suffers.
Really?
They've been struggling over the last few years in Power Boat Association with just some consistency. Last season they struggled. When you go to a race, it was more of an outing because you only had 3 boats. And you would ask officials, okay, so you guys had a meeting Thursday night, you had 9 or 10 guys sign up, but only 3 are here today. What happened between Thursday and Sunday here at Fairy Reach? You know, and that's the struggle. That's the things that, you know, if you're making a commitment, and I'll probably get some backlash for this, but you made the commitment to buy the whatever cost of the boat was. You knew, or you know, it costs X amount of dollars for the fuel. You registered to be a racer, so you can't complain that you can't find a sponsor, and that's why you don't race, because you knew that going in. So you know what I mean?
That's the chance to go.
Right. So don't kind of come down on the association that you need to find me a sponsor. And well, the association doesn't own your boat. They don't put a sticker on your boat.
Nope.
They don't hire your crew, and they don't buy your gas. So why should they take the responsibility? They're giving you a platform in which to race, and in an environment where you can race under the rules and regulations that are out there. So, you know, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing I keep saying about all these guys on the bikes on the road. There's a perfectly good place for you to race. You want to race? Go down Southside, sign up, become a member, take your bike out on the track, and ride as fast as you want. It's nothing. It's a controlled environment. Yes, accidents happen, but guess what? If you have only proper gear, the chances of you getting less likely to be hurt is there for you. But these guys are taking too many chances on our roads.
Yeah.
And just yesterday, when we were up at the village,
Yeah.
I inadvertently had a cup of water. I rested it on the ground,
Yeah, I remember.
turned around in 3 minutes, done, the cup had melted.
No, big time.
So could you imagine, first you get in an accident, and then you're on a frying hot ground. What's going to hurt more? Whatever's hurting from the accident or the ground? Your skin's burning. And that's the thing that these guys have to realize. I mean, whew.
A bit of road rash ain't no fun.
Oh,
No.
and burning root rash, cooked root rash.
Yeah, like you both said, Bermuda road rash.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
no fun.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
no fun.
I mean, we can. There are so many organizations that through sport can offer a way out for people to get all their frustrations out. If a guy loves to ride fast and he thinks he's the best, well, get on the track and prove it. Come first every week. Do that.
Yeah. And you know he's not going to do that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's because they don't want to be, they don't have to abide by rules. And there are rules that say, okay, your class is racing from this time to this time. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to do it this time to this time. Well, go down there, become a member, get on the board, and then make up your schedule. Simple as that. But you know, there's so many offers out there for guys with speed. Okay, so they have motocross, they have karting. Hey, now that the America's Cup here, they got speed only water. So, you know, get one of those moths that fly on the foils. You know, it's opportunities out there. You just have to take them.
And be in the right place at the right time.
That's all.
And yeah, make connections.
Yeah.
Communicate that you want to be a part of these programs.
Yeah.
Don't talk it, but follow through with it.
Mhm.
Say, I want to be a part of it. How can I go about it?
Mhm.
And that's a lot of problems for us young men that we want to be swing fed
Yeah.
instead of working for it.
Hmm. Yeah.
So that's unfortunately hard on us in some ways.
Mhm.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Well, let's take another commercial break. We'll be back after this. I miss my water.
Hmm?
I miss my water.
Go get it.
You have been talking by yourself?
Huh?
Working by yourself? Hey, your voice anything to me?
Go ahead. I think he's working.
Huh?
Told me Saturday.
Oh, you Saturday one? So about it? You said not for me.
Call Colombo on 296-3700 or visit CGIGroup.com.
Oh boy.
What?
Something's wrong with the Land Rover boat. They just stopped out the race.
Shit. Which is it?
Drama here as Land Rover drop off the foils into the water following gate to turn. Something appears to be wrong with the boat. Hainsley confirmed Land Rover VR retiring from this race. Message changed over British fans.
You go with it.
Yeah. Catch them while they're down.
Oh, we're gone. Yeah.
Hey, things are not going around for them.
That's fine. That's fine.
Well, wasn't a video on Facebook where this guy was on Southside, popped the wheelie, and all the way down
You saw him
there,
hit the
did you see
pill? Yeah, saw him hit the
that? Hit the
pill.
pill, yeah. Why don't he, like you said, register up and then
Go right
the
on
track?
it. Yeah.
And he slammed against the pole and cracked his pedal bike
Mhm.
up. I went down on the weekend,
Right.
last weekend.
Right.
Cars were still on the grass.
Mhm.
Piece of plain metal or whatever.
He just jumped up.
Yeah. Got recorded and put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Sesame Street, proudly sponsored by Axis Capital.
Now, back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Inside Sports Talk Radio with Power 95 FM with host Ian Rollins and co-host Earl Beaston.
And welcome back to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Earl, you've got some information on the latest America's Cup, especially dealing with Land Rover BAR.
Well,
Give us an update.
they've dropped out of the first race. They've retired from the first race. There was an issue as they went around gate 2. They dropped their foils, and then Sir Ben Ainsley informed the officials, the race officials, that Land Rover BAR were retiring from the race, and unfortunately he's down 1-0. Not sure what the issue is. As we get updates, we will be able to bring you whether or not they'll be able to partake in the second race, which is only now some 50 minutes away or 45 minutes away from the scheduled start. They've actually got some damage, and now they're assessing the damage. They've apparently struck something in the water. So they're assessing whether or not they continue or can continue today. If they can't, it's a major disappointment for them for the day, and whether or not they can have whatever repaired to race again tomorrow.
Okay.
So that's the latest from up at Cross Island. Emirates Team New Zealand have won race 1 due to the fact that Land Rover BAR were forced to retire. And they apparently have hit something in the water, and they're assessing the damage now. So, Ian, drama on the water in the Great Sound, race 1, semi-final.
When we were doing the interview earlier, we talked about the momentum that the Land Rover BAR was carrying in this race. And you said, well, New Zealand picked them because they said they didn't fare well against the wind, with light winds, that is. And you also said that there's a reason why they chose it. Did they know something in advance that we didn't know?
I was telling you that the issue is that Sir Ben and his team are not hitting all the cylinders, and when things happen like that, all sorts of things come into play, and unfortunately, they've hit something that's just put them even in a bigger hole now.
Wow.
Because again, you're down and you don't know, no one knows, and we'll wait to see whether or not they just pull in and say, you know what, we'll start tomorrow down 2-0.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we shall see.
We shall see. Interesting.
The number to dial in is 292-9595, and just give us a call, and we can discuss any cricket option or any sport option that you would like to discuss. 292-9595.
Oh, I have one for you.
What's that?
Did you watch the NBA last night? NBA playoffs?
Man, I fell asleep.
From the beginning?
Yeah. I did not see. I was waiting for it, and I did not fall asleep. I just. It's. Listen. Cleveland will go back to Cleveland, right?
Oh, you're saying it's fixed, okay.
Yeah, man.
It's not fixed.
Yeah.
no.
It's not?
No,
Okay,
no,
all right.
no.
What?
not fixed.
How many points, total points in 2 games has Golden State scored?
Last night was what, 133, right?
Yeah.
And the other night was 150 something?
Yeah. They will struggle to get 106 game 1 in Cleveland. Struggle.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah.
Why is that?
We need this to go 7 games, brother.
And you didn't think it was 7?
It's gonna go 7. If it don't, it's going 6. And it would end up 4-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
4-2.
So it's 2-0 now. The team that's gonna win the first game will end up winning it all.
Rubbish.
But there is,
Rubbish
but
ain't
well,
coming
there's an issue now because Kyrie Irving has a knee injury.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. They just revealed it this morning.
Is he cupping out or is he getting injured?
Well, apparently he's been carrying it for some time, and it's just really getting exposed now. Worst possible time, so anything's possible. LeBron can't carry that team in the final by himself. Golden State's got way too many.
Too many guns.
Too many. Yeah.
Too many guns.
So what they would do is just run different guys at him all the time, where he would have to defend. You know, they're a run and shoot team, but what they'll do is they'll hold it up for a little while to make him work on defense. So when it comes down time to offense, I mean, if you look at it, when Jordan was playing, because of the defensive people he had around him,
Right.
he can take a moment off on the defense, but he really never did. But when you got guys don't want to go down the paint because Dennis Rodman's down there, you know, you had that outside threat. So if Jordan was to go inside, you know, so the same thing when the Lakers were dominating, you had inside and outside games, and that's what Golden State have now. Inside and outside games.
Interesting.
Cleveland's going to struggle.
Yeah.
Cleveland's going to struggle
because Golden State is too strong of a team, and the fact is that
yeah,
by bringing in Durant, which they said was part of the program they wanted, we'll see what happens. You got a call on the line.
yeah.
Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Insights. Oops, they hung up. Okay. Nevertheless, that number again is 292-9595. We'll see what happens. Give us a call. That game is on Wednesday night on ABC.
Yeah.
And so that'll be interesting to see what happens going forward with that. I'm pulling for Golden State. Reason why, it's a revenge, having a 3-1 lead last year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, credit to Cleveland, they went and won 3 straight games, 3 consecutive games,
And how many games did that go to?
went to 7.
Okay, all right, just checking. And they had a 3-1 league, right?
That was last year.
Okay.
That was last year.
All I'm saying is pay attention,
I'll put you on hold.
pay attention, and that's how things materialize. So don't be surprised if you see the same thing. Deja vu.
Deja vu.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a call on the air, on the line. Excuse me. Let's take it as we speak. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio. I'm fine, thanks. All is good?
Talking about the young lad Marcus Sutton.
Yes.
Because he is also one of the players we're looking at to represent Bermuda next month in the under-19 tournament when we go to our World Cup qualifiers over in Toronto.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Just glad to hear that he's doing exceptionally well, and hopefully this can carry on and actually encourage other youngsters to want to strive to do better, you know. I heard you guys conversation about the younger lads in terms of them playing cricket and how much cricket they're playing or how little cricket we're playing. And you have some valid points, but the thing is that in Bermuda, what we're finding now is that at the club level, it's almost like one person is doing everything, and there's not enough manpower. I mean, last year, for the last 2 years, we basically played under 14 cricket in Bermuda at 20 overs, and we found that wasn't enough cricket for these guys in terms of their development. So we opened it up now to 35 overs, and you know, obviously that gives them a much better opportunity to play more cricket. And to be quite honest with you, that's still not enough cricket because they're playing it once a week. But unfortunately, what's happening is that you're finding 14, 15-year-olds having to play in Premier Division teams or First Division teams to help out because there's not enough cricket. There's a shortage of cricketers right now overall, you know. And so, I mean, the BCBC, just speaking from their behalf, I know that we extended our youth leagues. We have a youth league that goes up right up until August now, just so that we can try to get these youngsters playing more cricket. Because before, if you notice, the under 14, under 15 league basically ended when school gets out. And I was like, no, this can't be enough. This is just not enough cricket, you know. So we for the last 2 years, the boys have gone on, and now they're playing cricket right up until August at least. And the problem is there's a breakdown because you look at PNC, but I'll use them as an example. Cal Waldron's up there and he's like, Clay, you know, I need help. I'm doing everything. I'm got this team, I'm got this team, I'm got the senior team. You know, I know Ryan Steve's down in St. George's, and she's sort of singing the same song, you know what I mean? And it's just like, in order for us to move forward, there's people have to come on board to actually help out at the club level with these kids. So that it takes a workload off of people, you know, because people are getting tired, people are getting burnt out.
Is it Have you looked at it also, Clay, as a part where clubs need to offer more to the volunteer service? Of course, we know it's volunteering, and people say, you know what, I've been doing this now for 1 or 2 years, or even just this year, and there seems like nothing's being justified to make them be a part of the organization. I know when you were coming along, when we were coming along as young men, there were more people volunteering out there. Let's use your father, for example. He did everything at St. George's, but he had a crew that supported him as well. But you don't have that anymore. So times have changed. There are more dynamics that are out there. People offering more projects and outside of cricket, outside of other sports, other activities, and that could also be a problem that why people are not volunteering or younger people not participating in the sport that you love so much.
It's no doubt there's a lot of competition. I mean, rugby right now is. I mean, you just have to go and look up the stadium, and during the weekend you see loads of kids. But the program that they put in place, like they're able to get the sponsorship that supports it and backs it. So you've got coaches that are being paid to do whatever they have to do, and kids are getting service first class treatment behind that. So it's just a matter of, I guess, I don't know if clubs can better structure themselves, going out and seeking sponsorship. I know back in the day when we were down in St. George's, Randall used to go out to Shell of Shell at Ferry Reach and just seek sponsorship from them, and it may be 5,000, maybe 10,000, but or whatever it may be, but every little bit helps, to go towards the cricket program. It just takes us a little off of the package to be able to go out and seek sponsorship for the club.
All right, Clay. You got a pen and a piece of paper? Yeah, do you have a pen and a piece of paper? Okay. All right. You just made reference to what they do at rugby. So I'm gonna offer this advice. When school comes out, the Bermuda Cricket Board have a camp, right? Parish camps, not club camps, parish camps, and you hire people to coach, and you have regularly scheduled games, not for 4 weeks, for the time that they're out from school. So what you would do, you'll have in the parish, you'll have a whole bunch of kids, and it will look a lot fuller, and you play against other parishes up and down the island, right? Yeah, go ahead.
Right now, that's what we have in place. As soon as school gets out, we have a summer league in place. There was an under 12 and under 15 summer league. The board actually hired the coaches, and the way it's done in 4 zones: a Eastern Central, a Western, and a Western Central. Some clubs wouldn't have a sufficient amount of players, so that zone would represent, players from a couple of clubs would be able to play for the Eastern zone.
But how long is that program for, though?
It starts as soon as school gets out, and it runs through to like the second week of August, basically.
Right. Oh well, and they've started to promote this. They've how is it? Because
always giving ample notice about it.
Right.
Some clubs, like last year, for instance, Bayless Bay, they actually had sufficient amount of players. They actually put their own team in it, so it was actually 5 teams. So the clubs have sufficient amount of players. They can put their own team in it. But other than that, we also do it in a zonal thing, because it's, like I said, we need to get these kids playing a lot more cricket. But I talked to, for an example, I talked to Cleon about his son Marcus, and he was like, yeah, we're looking forward to coming over in July for the team if Marcus is selected. And he said, by then he would have played at least 30 to 40 games. And I'm sitting there saying, 30 to 40 games.
You're struggling for 30 or 40 minutes of cricket.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. Right. Well, that was the point I was making earlier. That and you justify by saying that it's primarily one person doing it. So how are we? When is the appeal going to come out? I mean, see, if we're doing things through the club, and you already said that the clubs are struggling, why not go to the public? If we continue to do the same thing, we're going to keep getting the same results.
I'm going to say this out, and I feel because I've been being part of the board. I'm actually on the cricket. I'm actually like the head of coaching, and we had level 1 and level 2 coaching things that, as you know, they just got their awards a couple of weeks ago. These guys did the courses last November, so the clubs have access. Well, have all these people that are now should be keen to want to get involved, because that's why you would take a coaching course, isn't it?
Right.
Try to ascertain the services.
Right, but it all boils down to time. Now, some people want to get that coaching badge, so if they're on the sideline and they could understand the game better, some want to be able to help out when they can because it's time consuming. Remember, a lot of people have full-time jobs. It's the same thing. I was talking to, as we know, we have an influx of umpires. One person told me I only took that course because when I go to a game, I now want to understand it. So when the umpire makes a call, if I don't have to listen to a radio anymore, I understand what the call is. And that's, people have different reasons for taking different courses. So, you know,
the problem in terms of, well, going back to what you said earlier, like, why aren't we playing 50 overs at the age of 14?
mm-hmm.
Again, party time is time.
Right.
It was actually good enough that they're actually playing in the Premier team. So if or the first division team, the team has a game on a Saturday and a Sunday. That Saturday, the senior teams more or less gonna ask for their services, and then you're finding these under 14s are playing with like 7 and 8 men because they don't have sufficient amount of numbers.
Yeah, I understand that. So what we're saying is, at the senior level, they want the under 14 to make a sacrifice, or the under 14 team to make a sacrifice, so they can have 11 players on a Sunday.
Clay, I got a question.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Clay, I got a question for you. Where do you see the cricket program in the next 3 to 5 years from now? 3 to 5 years, yeah.
I think we're moving in the right direction. We have to sit down and decide where we want to take cricket as not just the board, but even the clubs. You know, because we and I'm just speaking, say me as the head coach of the national team, I can sit there and say this is where we wanted to go, but then you have to also get buy-in from the clubs and the players. You know, I think right now our focus has to be on the under 15, under 13 league. From what I've seen, there is a really good crop of youngsters that are coming through. We have to make sure that we put things in place that they can develop their game. And it could mean that even at the under 15 level, instead of playing 50 overs, we play open cricket. So, it's more of a development type of of structure than anything, because when I, like you said, you look back in the years when myself, I was under the team models and those type of guys, we played a little bit of open cricket, so we actually learned the game first before we actually start going out and came to this 50 over and now the T20, you know. So I think part of the problem is some of these youngsters aren't having the time to develop their game and learn the game first before they actually are put into these restricted type of competitions, if I can say.
Okay, fair enough. So, as Earl alluded to earlier about getting the word out there, I guess now speaking to him and listening to his question and listening to what you're saying, you will take some new steps going forward to get the message out regarding your youth program and senior program?
Yeah, well, definitely. That's something that we'll talk about. We've already talked about it. We'll talk about it again and making sure that we hit all avenues, you know. But
Yeah, that's true. Well, you know, just let you know a secret. Where Earl and I work, it's a place called Radio and TV, and we do advertisement. We can put a package together for you. You're talking to them now. That's my point. You're talking to them now.
You sound like you're running between the wicket, cousin. You sound like you're running between the wicket.
Right.
Well, we're still looking for that person too. Listen.
Well, I'll tell you what we can do.
Stand and deliver. Don't ain't no singles around here. Okay? We're hidden outside the ropes.
Hello? Alright. but I tell you what, we'll invite you on the show as well. How's that, mate? Yeah. Of course. That's right. So we will be in contact with you, Mr. Smith, and of course have you on the show and enlighten us more on what is outlined for the remainder of the 2017 season. And beyond that, of course, the future is cricket and how can we improve our standards. I think we're in Division 3 now, or Division 4 of cricket. I can't remember which division offhand. Division 4, and so we want to climb up and get back to that status and take it to the pinnacle where you went in 2007, representing Bermuda in the World Cup. So we want to get back there one day. Hopefully, it could be under your watch. All right, sir.
Okay,
All
man.
right, thanks for calling. All right.
Ian, before we go to commercial break, we
Yeah.
have an update from the America's Cup.
Sure.
Land Rover BAR are currently working tirelessly to assess and repair damage to their wing ahead of the second race. We're looking at footage of their wing has been damaged. Still don't know what they struck. Race 2 is underway. On leg 3 of 7, SoftBank Team Japan lead Artemis just by a couple of seconds. So
Really?
racing is underway. It's drama still in Dockyard. Land Rover BAR are kind of in trouble right now.
This is the second time Land Rover's had
An issue with their boat?
With their
Yeah,
boat, right?
yeah.
it was last week they had they struck a boat. A boat
Yep,
struck them or
that-
something.
yeah.
Correct.
I believe he struck, well, in training he struck a boat, and last week I think he was struck. So,
Something.
um,
So it hasn't been too favorable.
well, that's
Yeah,
why.
regarding the shores for Land Rover BAR.
And just at the turn of the 4th mark, gate 3, SoftBank Team Japan have opened up a 21-second lead on Artemis Racing. So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's huge.
From a couple of seconds to 21 seconds on one leg. That means you're up on the foils and getting everything you can out of that boat.
In track and field terms, I can say that's probably
Yes.
that's like 200 meters.
Well, I was just
That's
gonna say
200 meters.
the
That's
the
like
gun
200
went off,
Yeah.
and I took off, and you were still in your get ready go mark.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gave you a lead so I can catch you up. I forgot. about
Well, if we're only doing 200, I'm already through the finish line.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you was on the bike.
Well, hey, no, I started at the finish line. I ain't coming. You can say he came off the band.
You can see you go with the band. That's the best part, man. Coming off the band.
Oh, I know. Oh, we done that in our day.
Yeah, second and third lanes with the best.
Sure,
Coming off the band.
sure.
Let's take it.
What house were you on it with?
Smith.
Oh, yeah, we were on the same house. See,
It was Smith, Zool.
Pyramid and McLaughlin. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Smith.
Mhm.
I don't remember McLaughlin that much, but.
They made up the numbers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, one of those
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
they made up the numbers. 'Cause they were the green. Bill was Zool, and Pyramid was red.
Who was the other top?
Zool.
So what was Smith? Blue?
Blue, we were blue.
We were blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what was McLaughlin?
Girl. No, green. Sorry, green. The colors were green, red, blue, and gold.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't remember McLaughlin. So you made up the numbers.
Yeah.
So they didn't excel then, so they're going to
Always came down to Pyramid and Smith. Always came down to Pyramid and Smith. 'Cause remember, Pyramid had Candy. Well, actually, no. But Zool had Brooke Ernie. That was the most points.
No, I think Marvin Stubble was on.
Marvin was
Zool.
on.
I thought he was on Zool. I could be wrong, but I thought he was
I thought Marvin was on.
on Zool. Oh, okay.
No, you're right. You're right.
He was on Zool?
Yeah.
Okay. He was on Zool.
Yeah. So they won a few races.
3 races.
Yeah.
But overall,
Couldn't win the relays.
no.
Yeah. They won a couple sprints, but yeah. Smith was the team that persevered throughout.
Pretty much.
Yeah, in all the sports. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You had a great team.
Now we're going to be in flux with Whitney people calling, making off because we got something wrong. Okay, I got something wrong. Maybe.
Stand to be correct.
Yeah.
Stand to be correct. So, he had a great gym teacher.
Yeah. Tony Roach.
Tony Roach.
Mhm. He made me fear the sport of rugby
And he did to all of us.
because he used to come in with band-aids and black eyes.
And he'd say, "Good morning, gentlemen." Think nothing of it.
Yeah. And I'll be like,
Thank you.
is everything okay? Yeah, and you know, he had a lovely game yesterday. All right, so
Just give us a quick update.
Artemis is fighting back. The
Right.
lead has been cut to 16 seconds.
Okay.
So,
You know what you do? You do that every time.
I keep thinking it's going to swing in behind me. I don't know why.
as Ian,
You didn't notice, they didn't notice, and he's saying,
the gate is open
we're going
to go through the gate.
Let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we'll have Energized Wellness Solutions.
Mhm.
It's not Marie Beach today. I thought it was Marie Beach, but it's I don't know her name. What's her name? Oh, April Charles this year. She's joining us in studio. We'll be back after this.
Sports Talk Radio has been presented to you by Colonial Group.
You're stuck with me today.
Hello.
Then he called up and said, Zool was green and McLaughlin was yellow.
Yellow, right? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
She said,
I told you somebody would call.
Yeah, so you
Because I made
give
that.
her credit.
Yeah,
Give her
yeah.
credit.
Zool was green, McLaughlin was yellow. Yes. I knew those were the two colors between the two.
She said, well, somebody you should go to school with.
I was only worried about Smith.
Yeah. Hello, lady.
Hello, how are you?
All right.
I'm good.
Good. Like your touch those glasses.
Oh, yeah, my goggles so I can see. Even though I got that LASIK surgery.
Oh, you got it? It doesn't work, you know?
It
Obviously not.
does. No, it does. But I said, well, what about,
Really?
yeah, and he says, oh, between 6 to 12 months you'll need reading glasses. I was like, no, I've had glasses or contacts all my life. He goes, well, there is a surgery for that, but I wouldn't advise it.
Do you find you struggle after you've been out in bright light and then come inside?
No, not really. I
mean, I can see on your laptop, which I never would have been able to see that.
Oh.
It says America's Cup.
Right.
Like, after the surgery, when I was able to open my eyes, I
Yeah,
put
but
the
it's-
ticker tape underneath the see and everything, which I've never
Really?
been able to do without glasses or contacts before. So it's really good. It just happens that it's my age, you know.
Yeah, younger than me.
I'm 50, older than you.
I'm older than you.
What are you?
I'm older. Both of us.
I'll be 51 in, well, next month.
I'm on everybody.
Last week.
Oh, okay, yes, you are older than it's showing off. And older than you.
So what school, high school did you go here? You
I
go,
didn't.
okay,
I left
say,
when I was young.
so you're in New Jersey, right?
Yeah, New Jersey and then Texas.
Texas?
Okay, so Melton is
Around that, yeah.
Up north, down south.
well, my father felt it was more opportunity, so when he lost his job,
Before we,
Before we go.
Let
No, you do the intro, then
Yeah.
we can still go to it.
Yeah.
Of Inside Sports Talk Radio, health and wellness. It's presented by Energize Wellness Solutions.
Before we go there, we just got another update on the America's Cup.
No, not an update on the America's
Oh,
Cup.
sorry.
Actually, we do have an update on the America's Cup, but I stand to be corrected.
Uh-huh.
Smith wore blue, Pierman wore red, Zul was green, McLaughlin was yellow. So I'm
Someone
glad,
called in and
yeah, I'm glad we were able to get that right. But we do have an update. SoftBank Team Japan have been flying for 99.6% of the course, and Artemis Racing has been foiling for 96% of the race, but they still have a lead. SoftBank Team Japan is still leading Artemis, and Land Rover BAR are still working on the damaged wing to their boat that they sustained in the first race. So
is there racing again today?
they have another race in approximately 15 minutes scheduled.
Who's that again?
It's the same team. It'll be Emirates Team New Zealand again. They will face them because it's head to head now.
That's right. That's
Right. So hopefully they can get it fixed. If they can't, take it into the shop, come back out tomorrow, fight another day.
But then the point will go automatically. to-
Well, yeah, you'll be down 2-0, but it's better that you're down 2-0 and you go back and fix things as opposed to trying to do something
and then lose the boat.
right, and you do more damage to the boat because once it gets up, you don't know how much tension you're going to be allowed to have on that wing.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure the technical guys are working at it off the water. As far as structurally, what do we want to do with this boat?
This truck, something can't be a reef because they don't have that close.
We have plenty of hard shell things floating around here.
That's true.
You can't get them all. So, yeah.
Well, good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio.
Once again.
Not a problem. How was your weekend?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was really, really good. Yeah.
Did you go to the America's Cup race this past
No,
weekend?
not this weekend.
Mhm.
What did I do? My daughter's recital was yesterday, so I went to that at Emotion. It was excellent. And on Saturday morning, I started out for a short walk, and next thing it was 7 miles later. And
Okay.
yeah.
She had a lot on her mind.
Well, it just felt so good to, not be at work and be childless for a bit, and the weather was nice. It wasn't too hot or
So you
too
took advantage
cold.
of
I
it.
did. I ended up walking to Energize. Yeah, and then back home.
Okay. Fair enough.
From Hermitage Road. So
That's a good walk.
it was, and
There you go.
yeah. So I really enjoyed that.
Good. So what's on tap today?
Well, I wanted to talk about the benefits of training your legs, especially since Carnival's coming up.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you a few of the benefits. One of them is that it boosts your metabolism. So your legs are the largest muscles in the body.
Is it 40% muscle? Anyway, that's huge.
So moving big muscles, it requires big energy, which means you're burning more calories. Squats and deadlifts, that's what I'll concentrate on today. They require nearly every muscle in your body, therefore it requires a ton of energy to perform. And you can bench press all day long, but you won't get the same,
Results.
metabolic cranking up like heavy squats or deadlifts. Another benefit is increased growth hormone and testosterone. So there have been a lot of studies, sorry, yes,
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a speech pathologist, studies conducted that prove that performing squats and deadlifts
Mhm.
is an excellent way to increase the release of growth hormones and testosterone.
Just for you a little going on here.
Mhm.
People who are listening are intimidated by this, you know that, right? The squats.
Yeah.
Deadlifts.
Well, you know why? And I'll get to one of my other ones, and that's mental strength.
Right.
Squats, people don't like training legs, period, because it's physically and mentally challenging, and especially squats and deadlifts. And so by doing that, it helps to build your mental endurance.
Sure.
No other exercise. I don't necessarily like doing squats, but my body likes it. You know, it shapes you up, squats, lunges. It works.
But you know what's funny, right?
Mhm.
I'm just learning this.
Mhm.
I said it to you on the show on numerous occasions, and I'm a firm believer in that, right?
Mhm.
It's 80% what you eat,
Mhm.
20% what you train. I firmly believe in that.
Mhm.
I was doing squats, deadlifts for years.
Mhm.
Eating was going through it,
Yeah.
so my legs would stay this size.
Mhm.
I can do a squat, deadlift now, pretty much the same weight, or a bit more.
Mhm.
Of course, my diet has changed.
Right.
Legs are down like that.
Yes.
But that's the trick that people don't understand, meaning that you can do the squats and the deadlifts,
Mhm.
but you gotta eat the right food.
You do.
You do. I mean, I'm being honest. Weightlifting is fun. It
For
is.
some, not everyone. I mean, Earl turned his head very quickly.
No, I was looking for an update on the American Cup.
Sure.
Got out of that.
No, I'm serious because if you combine it, tell me if I'm wrong. If you combine cardio with it,
Yes.
right, you will see your whole body structure does change.
Yeah.
But the food has to go with it.
It does.
You know, it's no sense eating like a baked potato this morning, a baked potato this afternoon, and just eating some other carbs, some rice,
Mhm.
and then go weightlifting. You can do the weightlifting, but then try to go do the interval running,
Mhm.
right, or do a 3 or 4 mile run.
Mhm.
It ain't gonna work. And that's what people understand.
Right.
So you
the
gotta
food,
understand
the,
that.
the food helps to fuel the body. It
Right.
helps to fuel the muscles.
Exactly.
So we need that. And you know how you said some people are afraid of squats that turns them off. Yeah, it's not the most comfortable thing. Just like exercise, for some people, it's a turn off. But it's going to benefit you. You know, and like I was saying with squats and deadlifts, they work your whole body.
Sure.
So even if you have an upper body injury and you're doing your squats or your deadlifts, you're still working your chest, you're still working your arms, you're working your core because you need your core to stabilize.
That's
So
right.
you're still really getting a whole body workout. And it's also great for functional strength because strong legs and core,
Mhm.
it helps you develop strength for upper body workout. But it also helps, it helps the development, but it also helps to build stronger legs and lower body, and it helps your body to be more symmetrical. Because I know that a lot of guys love working their upper body, especially the arms, because you can see results faster with the upper body. So they're pumping, got these big guns, and then they have these little stick legs. That's not cute,
Right.
you know. So you wanna
It's a
still,
balance.
balance and have symmetry, but also with the weight training, it helps when you strengthen your legs, it helps you to jump higher, run faster, and improve your athletic performance. So weight training is really the basis for all sports, which people don't really think of it. That's why they don't think of bodybuilding as a sport, but you need that for every sport.
Question. I know we were talking about squats and
Mhm.
so forth, and I've seen people do it with weights. I've seen people just do it with a bar.
Yeah.
Is there a difference? Does the weight?
Yeah, you can feel it differently. Because when you have that bar,
The
you
bar's
got
only
the-
45 pounds.
Yeah. But if you put weight on the bar, but the bar, I mean, you're saying only, that's a lot of weight for a lot of people. So you got the weight of the bar, and it's going across
Yep.
your shoulders.
Shoulder blades.
And then you're going down, so you got the weight of that bar, and you're going down on your body weight, and then you're trying to lift it up. And then if you put some plates
Mhm.
on the side of the bar,
So would you recommend that if someone's first getting into it, just use the bar first to get through the motion, or are you suggesting people put those plates on?
I'll let you answer that.
Oh, okay, bar as opposed to plate. Oh, I
Right.
would say just the bar.
Right.
But if they're new, then I would even go as far as to say maybe the dumbbells as opposed to
Oh, okay.
the bar.
Mhm.
But if you do have the bar, I would say without the plates.
Right.
You just,
Right.
kind of hold it.
Because you're gonna have some people.
Yeah.
You always have somebody who says, "I'm gonna just go to the gym. I'm gonna try everything I've seen somebody else do,"
Mhm.
but it's safety as
Right.
well.
Yeah.
And that's why I ask, because you'll get some guys say, "Oh, I could lift
Right.
these 40 pounds only," but you're lifting it straight up, standing over the bar.
Mhm.
Now you're talking about you're going to do it from a squatting position.
Right.
You should. And the other thing is, most times when you train, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ian, you should have someone with you.
I think so, especially with weight training. Mostly with squats and
Mhm.
deadlifts,
Mhm.
because what April was alluding to earlier about just using the bar
Mhm.
as opposed to the weights is a good question you ask. Technique's very important.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Now that's why, yeah,
It's so-
that was
so
the reason
important
behind
because
that.
it avoids injuries, right?
Right.
And so many people get impressed by someone having, 180 pounds on
Mhm.
their shoulders and
Mhm.
squatting. That person's been squatting for so long,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
that they have the technique and they know how to take the strain off their back and
Yeah.
things of that sort, their lower back.
Mhm.
And that's so important.
It is.
I use a belt every time
And I was
squat.
just, as you
use
were saying
a
that, I
belt.
was thinking about, yeah.
I use a belt everything from even bench pressing. I use a belt. Deadlifts, legs, belt, back training, belt. I use a belt.
And that's a good practice. That's a
Yeah.
very good practice because I could tell you lift heavy weights, so you would want to support your back as
Yeah.
much as possible, supporting your whole core.
Mhm.
And by doing those exercises, it makes just functional activities easier.
Do it.
Sweeping or walking, or any of those things. And the reason why I wanted to discuss this today, because with our carnival, the New Heroes weekend coming up, is it next week or a week after?
Week after
Yeah,
that.
week after.
Yeah.
Yeah, starting around here.
Next week,
15th.
Friday.
Yeah. Well, the people, I'm saying this, and I know that it's last minute, so people should have been training all year.
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to get people that are going to come now to
Of
that's
course.
what you've seen.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I said the benefits of training legs is because when you are at these sets, it's a lot of leg movement. Well, not leg movement. It's you're actually squatting.
Mm-hmm.
When you are dancing, you're lining up. You're in a squat.
Mhm.
And you're lining up. But if you haven't been doing anything and you just start lining up and then you start.
Bangay.
Yeah, exactly. But if you were training.
Ibuprofen.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you were training,
Mhm.
then you wouldn't really. You're not going to notice it as
Right,
much.
right.
You know?
And it's important. I mean, we haven't had a good bout of rain for quite some time, so
Mhm.
everything's dry.
Mhm.
And you're gonna. Those are 4 long days.
Mhm.
Not just water that you want to impress on people, but it's also get as much shade and eating food as much as you could possibly get.
Yes.
Because you're gonna go from night to day to night,
Yes.
and you're not gonna realize how much your body has done
Mhm.
until it gets night again.
Yeah, and there are going to be people, and there are more fests, or if you
Mhm.
know what that is, more parties
Mhm.
that are scheduled this year than the previous year.
Right.
So, and there are going to be some people that they are going to try to hit
Every single.
one.
Yeah.
And so you need to build yourself
Mhm.
up as much as possible.
And that don't mean this weekend try your practice run. And you know what I mean by practice run. We gotta drink Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday and Sunday. Getting ready for next week. Yeah.
So they go up there and
Yeah.
their alcohol
Yeah.
intolerance.
That's their training session.
Yeah.
Hey, some people go to the gym,
Yeah.
other people go around friends, and hey.
So, but yeah, so it is important to, take care of yourself, take care of the whole body,
Mhm.
when you have these events where it's just full on from 0 to 100.
Okay. So on the 20th, you're reopening Energize on the 20th of June.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
Oh.
Should be alright. Should be alright.
So just thought I'd put
Get
that
dropped
out
off on the 19th.
Yeah,
Well,
but-
on the 19th is the parade of bands.
I know.
And I was just looking at my costume again. I was like, are you kidding me? Because something I wasn't paying attention to. When I saw this costume, I said, yes, that's the costume for me. It's going to really stand out. I want to advertise, energize, and, you know, I'll be right up front. I didn't think about this until yesterday. With all of those feathers, this big old headpiece,
Mhm.
and the heat, and it's going to be heavy.
You're on your own, so
That was why
and
she
that's
walked so
really
far.
it.
See?
right.
I'm on my own, and that was mentioned. I was saying, no one's going to want to wind up on you with all those feathers. I was like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. I mean, it's just feathers for days.
There you go.
I was like, so next year will definitely be a back on
Okay.
with less.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a caller on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon and welcome to Inside Sports Talk Radio. Hey, Mike
Hey.
Watson, how you doing? Mm-hmm.
That's what some people do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Lighter. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Sure. Right. Right.
True.
Right. And I'm glad you mentioned that because the trainers that we do have, one of the first things when they meet with the trainer is you ask, what are you trying to get out of this? Because some people aren't necessarily, they aren't athletes, but they could just be trying to increase their flexibility or they want to tone up. And so that's a different training type as well, like what you had mentioned. And even someone that is like myself who is training for carnival, I'm toning up, but I want to tone, but I don't want to be as hard as if I were getting up on a stage. So my training is a bit different from that as well. So that's very important. Yeah, because because we also have a couple of archers that are going away competing this month, and so they're being trained in a special way for their sport. So that was a great point. Thank you.
Well, Carl, we have to move on now. So thank you for calling in, and of course you can call in next week. Thanks for tuning in. Okay.
Thanks.
Cool. Any final words before we wrap up?
That's pretty much it. I'm hoping people have been doing something on the blog. Earl's laughing at me.
Well,
But,
since it's a holiday on the 19th of June, we're resuming the experience. So I'd like to definitely hear your feedback on the experience.
Our feet be hurting, man.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I'm trying to figure out what I'm putting on my feet now with this heavy
We get her better half drop her off.
Hey. His feet be hurting too because he should be canvassing.
Well, yeah, he's trying to get out there.
Yeah.
He's trying to get out
That's
there.
gonna be.
But he's also going to be on the road with me too.
Well, that's good.
No.
Yes, he will.
Yeah. Brother man, get your rest over these 4 days. You're gonna need it. Good. Listen, take some advice. Support from afar.
Yeah, he's good. I had his workout before I arrived, and yeah.
Alright.
He'll be on the road, and he'll be canvassing, and he'll be on the road. And
Okay.
Canvassing.
well, when it comes to Bermuda Heroes, it's Bermuda Heroes weekend.
I heard that. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll run it. We're going to take our last commercial break and we'll come back and wrap it up.
New Zealand's ahead 2-0.
Yeah, what was the Britain?
They went back to the dock.
Well, we can say that we wrap up.
So, the race of Artemis.
Japan won.
Oh, shit.
Are you serious? Maybe I should have worn my Artemis sport. The help.
They started gaining 20 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. I was watching it before I came.
Right.
All right, gentlemen.
Okay.
Have a good
Have
one,
a good
sister.
one.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Don't forget to close the door, see?
And I don't just leave doors open.
I'm messing with you.
All right, yeah, let's go to
I don't know how you got that.
yeah, let's go to that. Well, I'll do the Japan Artemis race, and then do the Emirates and Manuel race. Yeah.
Call Colonial on 296-3700 or visit CGIGroup.com.
Calling all players. What's my number? It's game time. Fun and dependable sports betting on NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, golf, surfing, English Premier League, and more. This is American. Instant win games. Be a lucky
He just wants to know if
Who?
Carly's wants to know if Mustangs coming in tomorrow. And this Masters Mustang.
Right.
She needs
I've got a call after this.
Right. She said she's not sure yet.
She don't come in. I'm gonna call Jason.
But she wasn't in the morning.
And she and I said,
Oh.
Huh?
It's powered by the best.
And thank you coming back and joining us in the last episode here of Inside Sports Talk Radio. So David, just give you an update on the America's Cup. Go ahead, Al.
SoftBank Team Japan defeated Artemis Racing in the second race of the semifinals. So they're up 1-0. And then it was race 3 of the semifinals that featured Emirates Team New Zealand against Land Rover BAR. Emirates crossed the start line alone to seal their second victory of the day, so they lead 2-0 over Land Rover, who have returned to the base to, I guess, assess the damage, take the boat out of the water, have a real good look. And I think that was the smart thing to do, because you didn't want to put more stress on the structure of the boat. Go back. You start tomorrow down 2-0. That's better off than doing more harm than you would have if you would have not going back. So 2-0 to Emirates Team New Zealand in one semifinal, and the second race of the other semifinal featuring SoftBank Team Japan and Artemis Racing will get underway in some 25 minutes at 3:35. So 2-0 to Emirates, 1-0 to SoftBank Team Japan.
And that's been good luck for Land Rover BAR. That's been a tough one for them.
Get them while they're down.
That's what New Zealand has done.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all the time we have for today. And of course, we'll be back next week Monday with another edition of Inside Sports Talk Radio. And for those who listen, enjoy the rest of your day. And if you have a chance to get up to the America's Cup this week and this weekend. Of course, ZBM TV 9 will be planned for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. ZBM TV 9 at 2 p.m. Repeat broadcast at 8 p.m. And of course, on Ocean 89 again at 3 p.m. And of course, we have a new TV America's Cup free TV broadcast on Saturdays and Sundays at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Again, on ZBM TV 9 just before the race starts at 2 p.m. on the weekend. So join in. We got a lot of information to share to the public and updates on the America's Cup. Various other sports that's happening for Bermuda. I'm Ian Robbins, along with Al Bates. Enjoy the rest of the day.